Why, hello there, my faithful dwarves. Rodamon here. Thank you for tuning in to Dwarf Fortress, Taming the Wilds. Episode 16, Prolific Pantheon. A shell ring. Cool. Offered to our civilization. Nice. I am actually going to put the ring on this pedestal because the shell one is going to be on the right and the jet one is going to be on the left. These two will have rings. It kind of makes sense. You want to entertain people? Nope. Sorry. We're going to do that in-house. Our hunters are getting a lot more shot. So one thing I'm going to do for now, because I don't need more food, is set nobody does this. I'm going to hold off on hunting. I don't have a queue to make bolts right now, and I'm getting a little overwhelmed with the amount of like butchered meat I've got. So I'm going to have them slow down. But the cow tallow will stop using, the llama tallow, the red panda tallow, and all this will eventually be turned to soap so that we can clean up, keep people healthy. Oh, the axe dwarf is throwing a tantrum. He's gonna knock over a statue again, isn't he? We've had a lot of tantrums. So here we have barrels of prepared meals, barrels upon barrels of them. Now that I have a butcher shop over there, I'm going to get rid of this one. I'm going to get rid of the fishery as well, because I haven't been using the fishery, and I'm going to get rid of the kitchen. The farmer's workshop is a little different, because some of what gets processed is milk, some of what gets processed is like shearing. And what I can do is have this, have the workshops handle specifics if I wanted to. For now, I'm just going to allow the farmers, I'm going to leave the farmer's workshop there to do everything. But eventually I'll probably move it over to where the kitchen is and then try to separate it out a little bit. Karth Rain and Shifted Josh, thanks for the resubs, by the way. How we doing? They're doing pretty good. The only one, I haven't gotten too many dead, right? Only one person so far, and that was because the mountain collapsed on their head. Damn, that is an expensive ring. One ring is not like the other. This ring is worth so much more. Almost 7k compared to this ring, which is worth like 2? 1.5? Yeah. Well, little imbalance, whatever. Some gods are prayed to a little harder than the others. So the tables are almost all set up for here. We just have a little bit more smoothing out to do. And then I have more tables that I want to lay out up here in the actual tavern. I'm trying to build for scale so that when our population increases, I have the facilities for it. So I think all the tables that I need are done. So I'm going to kill this repeat table thing, and let's do thrones. Rock thrown. Add a shale. Repeat. How long does it take meals and raw foods to go bad? It depends on the ingredient. Fish, like... Fish goes bad, whereas, like, most other ingredients don't, depending on the ingredient. So it's a sort of a case-by-case basis. But generally speaking, cook fish immediately. Don't stockpile fish, or it's going to make a lot of miasma. Whereas, like, things like tree nuts that are stored in a bag, you know, aren't going to go bad like that. Hi, wagon. So who's this? These are the humans. I forget. What did they ask for? Toys? No, they haven't asked for anything. I have no agreement with them. All right. It was the dwarves that wanted toys. I'm going to try to get rid of as many of the backpacks as I can, as possible, in this trade. So that we don't cause miasma spillage in the bedrooms. Which is something that we've been doing. One thing I kind of wish was different is how... I can't imagine what it would be like without a keyboard mouse, but... without a mouse, rather, but how sort of cumbersome it is to move things to trade caravans. This is definitely rather cumbersome. So if there's animals to buy, I haven't really needed a lot of... I mean, I'm not really going to... I'm not going to be buying animals. I'll just say it like that. It's not my priority. It's not even on my radar. We're not ranchers. Apparently, my broker doesn't even want to do anything. Not even showing up. Come on, broker. Oh, there goes missed him. Given that the next project is going to be community improvement, I am going to get the start on additional temples rather than wait. So that, because it taps different workers, taps miners versus engravers and stonecutters. So this will give us the ability to have 3 more dedicated temples. And then eventually I'll mirror it on the other side. So we'll have at least 8. And then if we want to go down and add 8 more or whatever, that's good. How many gods do my dwarves have? About a dozen or so. Trade. What do we want to buy? Before I even do this, I know I want to sell my backpacks, but leather? Tanned hides, we have 70, so I could pick up more if I want to start to make archery leather armor. Cloth, same deal. I could pick up some more as well. So mostly fabrics. They do have a hen that I'll buy as an egg layer. That'd be the only animal. This will be my second egg layer. Animals, like the egg layers, are really easy to feed. You don't feed them. They just eat random bugs that they find wherever they are. And then they just lay eggs, which is free protein, so it is kind of nice. It's much less effort than in RimWorld, that's for sure. So they don't have a lot of leather, but they have a lot of cloth. It's fine. Goblin Bone Crown. Where did I get that off from? I don't think I made that. I think I killed one of the humans that had it or something. And now I'm selling it back to the humans. Nobody tell them. Nobody tell them the origins. Snitches get stitches. So the last thing I want to trade is the gems, if I can help it. Oh, that's all I need to do. Trying to ditch my backpacks as well. Good. Trade. Done. How many backpacks do I have now? Whoa. Oh. Fewer. But not 0. Oops. I'll just put the farmer up here and let my dwarves decide which ones they go to for milking and shearing, because I don't much care one way or the other. So I am almost done with this. There's 2 more little workstations. It's going to be littered full of shale for a while. I don't have shale storage anywhere. I'm not planning on adding shale storage for now, at least. But there we go. We have now have a better kitchen system where we brew pretty much where we store, and we cook right next to where we store, which is going to be a lot more straightforward. And that, and in fact, yeah, let me get rid of this farmer's workshop. Whatever, I'll just get rid of it. So that's the tallow that I have on the ground that, let's start making it into soap. Diplomacy. I will ask for donkey leather. And they will want cheese and rock toys. Isn't everyone asking for rock toys now? Let me double check. So, yeah. Everyone wants rock toys. Okay. That's good to know. I have a lot in stock already, but I could always make more if I want to max out. It's pretty odd that they asked for the same thing. There must be some sort of toy shortage, like Santa got killed or something. Taking a look around my stockpile down there, I am going to make some porcelain crafts because I have a lot of kaolinite filling up my stockpiles down here that I could free up. I'm becoming Santa's workshop? I know. Yeah. Let me see. Rock. Toy. Let's make some bauxite rock toys. Sure. So now the priority is add temples for the forlorn. So in order to try to make the people that are most fussy happy, I am going to build some temples for their prayer. With any luck, that will turn around some of the most negative moods that we've got. And then after we build these temples, I can go on a case-by-case basis and sort of analyze each individual to make sure that the things that they want most are met. So that we can avoid more tantrums and possibly worse. Every now and then they'll do worse than tantrum. They'll go berserk and they'll start punching people, and that already has happened once. So now that the floors are laid out, let's get the walls in. I spaced it out so that these temples won't share carved walls to maximize the wealth of each individual. I'm also going to need to cast some additional copper altars. We've been using copper as our altars just because it's an abundant material that doesn't make for very good arms or armor. So that's 3 more altars. So let's get those going. And then, eventually, we might have, some pedestal objects to display. I mean, even if we don't have an artifact, we'll be able to display something worth something, like maybe a steel shield or something like that. Something that has some sort of value as a placeholder. So there we go. There's the altars and the pedestals. And we'll have these dedicated in no time. Looking good. So for me to open up this dining hall, let's do that finally. Because I've built it, but technically it doesn't have a zone designation yet. Except, this is the Grand Dining Hall. And that means that the old one can get phased out. Delete. I still probably need to put down some tables and thrones. Yeah, there's some missing thrones here. And this is for the tavern. This isn't really for the dining hall. We have this giant tavern, and it's just not frequented much. No, I still need more thrones. I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more thrones up in the dining room. But I'd imagine, and I could be wrong, but I'd imagine that dining room is probably pretty nice. And I'm going to actually move the splint into the dining room as well. As a centerpiece. Because the quality of the dining room probably at this point matters a little bit more than the quality of the tavern. What's the description of the splint? Oh, right, I forgot. I'll check on that once it's down. Wait, why are we still making backpacks? Oh. Somehow I didn't get rid of that queue. I think I got rid of leather bag and not leather backpack. That explains why I couldn't get rid of all my backpacks. I've been replacing them as soon as I sell them. Peak logic. Have we retired the idea of a drawbridge to the tavern? No. It just needs to get voted on. Right now I'm working on community projects. If what is voted on next is defenses, maybe it gets done. Okay, I probably have enough drinks, so I'm going to pause these to free up some labor. We got 830, which is a lot. And there, I believe, is all of the thrones for the tavern and the dining room. They're all placed now. Unless I want to add ones to the middle. Which is probably not necessary until the population goes up even higher. Alright, they're packing up. They're leaving. Biotic is stumbling around again. As reliable as ever. Our angry, mad drunk of the colony. Now that the walls are mined up, or the sides are mined out, I'm going to replace them with walls and then eventually engrave everything. That's the last step. No combat so far? Yeah. Nobody's shown up because they know how impossible it would be to attack me. I'm kidding. I barely have a military. I just have drawbridges that function fairly well. Oh, Mistum is now throwing a tantrum. So those are the two that are probably going to try to appease with temples. Especially Mistum, who primarily wants to pray. That's what is upsetting him the most, that there is not a dedicated temple to his god. Or gods, probably plural. So, soon, Mistum, soon. Maybe there'll be another assassination attempt. True, I did dodge one of those. There's been combat. I've killed, 3 humans, I think? 2 or 3 humans? I kind of lost track. We're not all pacifists. Let's start engraving. Now, the thing about engraving is, like, if we engrave the walls from the outside, the hallway becomes better because I didn't double up the walls. I'm not going to fix that. I'm not going to care. But essentially, like, if you have a wall and you engrave one side, if that wall shares with another building, it doesn't benefit from the engraving because the engraving is on the other side, and you can't engrave both sides of a wall. So it's like, if the engraving here is facing north, then the temple that's south of that wall doesn't benefit from that engraving. So if you're designing it, you could fix what I've done here by doing something like this, where you destroy these walls and you double them up like this. I'm not going to bother, because that would be like min-maxing to a level that I don't care to try to approach as a new player. But just let you know that, like, avoiding doubling up walls for important buildings might be worth your time. As excuse me. Especially if you're trying to appease royals, nobility, because they're probably going to be the fussiest. Speaking of which, no exporting of ballista parts. Easy peasy. I won't. So even before we engrave stuff, I should be able to have these temples dedicated to the gods that will make the most upset people happy. So I'll do that in just a second. Let me just get doors on them. If the walls are shared between zones, does it randomly choose? So you can have multiple walls shared between zones. That's no problem. So an example of that would be my bedrooms. So as you can see, these bedrooms here, like, share between them. But what I'm saying is, and that's fine. There's no issue there. The issue is if you engrave the walls. Let's say the engraver engraves the walls from the top bedroom. The top bedroom will then benefit from the engraving. The bottom won't, because the wall only gets engraved on one side. So if you're trying to maximize the quality of a room, make sure that you know which side you're engraving. That's my point. Because if you're trying to engrave the walls of every wall of every bedroom, it's literally impossible in this format, because there are shared walls. So if the quality of a room matters, don't have it share a wall with somewhere else that, you know... Oh, perfect example. Right here, this Odom here is carving the outside of this wall so that the engraving is going to be benefiting the Temple of Halls, not this undedicated temple yet. That this is a perfect example. They engrave from a specific side, and that side gets fancy, and not the other side. So after I do these temples, what is the next project will be left up to you. And let's get these temples in. So the temple here, the temple that's getting nicest first, let's see if there's a free... Okay, so the armor stand is free for a temple to have dedicated. So let's put the armor stand. Done. Is there any other free objects? That one is used. The splint is used. Oh, no, the splint I haven't put down yet. The splint is used. That's used. Yeah, okay. So all of the other artifacts... There's a weapons rack? Actually, I don't think I have the weapons rack used. I must. Or did it get stolen? Oh, no, that's not mine. Solon Inky Weights. Isn't that my person in my colony, though? No, Solon... Okay, Liko Tal. Never mind, I got mixed up. So, this temple. I keep forgetting. Really hard to designate properly, but I think that's it. Alright, let's see. Going to Mistum. Mistum... Oh, his prayer needs kind of alleviated a little bit. Let's check the others. Thorin. Pray to Ostar. Mistum, do you have Pray to Ostar as well? Relationships. Where's your deities? Oh my god, how many family members do you have? Ostar is one of your deities as well. So Ostar is a shared deity between the two most upset people. So the first one is gonna be to Ostar. I think that's the god of death, sadly. How do you have so many? You're 31 and you have this many relatives? Are you a vampire? Gotta keep my eye on you. Okay, so this will be to Ostar. New temple. To Ostar, the god of death. Yeah, okay, the dude that has a lot of relatives that I'm like, are you? Okay. Really gotta keep an eye on them. Temple of Death. The Fatal Chapel. Let's rename that to Temple of Death, because I'm not creative. Done. Temple of Death. So the Temple of Death is right next to the Temple of Beauty. Seems reasonable to me. And then this temple is, let's see. Zach, you want to pray to Osmal, Grantmere, and Adel Dwindle, whatever. I don't know what those are. Adel Diamond Lathered and Alod. Okay, so let's do some other temples here. I think what I'm going to do is these temples are just going to be dedicated to whatever deity is shared the most commonly amongst the dwarves. So, new temple. I already have Alod. I already have Adel. Burr is 11. Osmal is 14. So, 14. So this is the Temple of Trickery, Metals, and Lies. I'm going to call it the Temple of Metal, just for simplicity's sake. Temple of Metal. I hope that they get instruments in there. And, yeah. Alright, last but not least, this temple. $14, $16, and a bunch of ones. Alright, so it's going to be the Temple of Fortresses. And it looks like next, more community improvements. Got it. Temple of Fortresses. Okay. Swank. And the Temple of Death now has... It's worth a whole lot, and it has an armor stand on it. So that's sort of fitting. The dining room has the splint in it. And if we check out the thoughts that people hear, he is content dining in a legendary dining room. So I have a legendary dining room, which is really good. This dining room paid off, which is great. All right, one thing I wanted to do for add coffers and cabinets. So one thing I wanted to do for the comfort of people is a few different things, actually. So one thing is I'm going to set every bedroom up to have 2 beds. That way I don't have to think about whether there's a couple in there or not. It won't matter. And then I'm going to start to put cabinets and chests or coffers in every single bedroom so that the clothing isn't strewn about and the quality of these bedrooms go up. So that's the next project that I'm working on. It's a smaller project, but that just allows you guys to vote on more stuff. So let's go over here and make shale cabinets repeated, and then make shale coffers repeated. Splint description. This is a peach wood splint. All craft dwarfship is of the highest quality, is encrusted with round shale cabochons and encircled with bands of cow leather. The object is adorned with hanging rings of peach wood and willow. Doesn't really describe anything, it's just describes its craft dwarfship. It's fancy, but it's not slugs. Oh, the hen I bought. I totally forgot. It is in this cage. There we go. We're dragging the hen out now, and I'm just gonna melt down the cage. I don't really need. Well, no, actually, I'll I'm just gonna demonstrate what like setting up a dog cage trap thing would look like. Just as a demo. Aw, what? You're throwing a tantrum? I just made you a temple. Like, literally, this is a temple for you, Mistum. And you're throwing a hissy fit. Now, let's see what else we can put into the temple here. I'm gonna do... What is expensive? I don't really have, like, a lot of good expensive things to enshrine in here, sadly. I'll put, for now... coffins. Wait, how do I have filled coffins? What? I'm so confused. Whatever. The humans? I didn't bury them, though. I dumped them. That's what's confusing. So I'll put steel breastplates here. You know, because that's totally not going to be a problem when we go to attack, protect ourselves. It's just something to boost the value of the room. So the value of the room here is about 870 or 850, about 850. We'll see if the steel breastplates make a bit of a difference. Where are you fighting? Oh, you're getting your butt kicked. You must be fighting someone. Oh, yeah, the person throwing a tantrum, likely. So, Mistum, did you just get punched in the head? Yeah, that's an old injury. The Fisher Dwarf... Doran... has his neck fat sutured. Neck fat, huh? Okay. Interesting. Alright, so this cage, the way this works is you can just stick animals. In my case, I'll stick a bunch of the war dogs in the cage. And then someone will have to come around and round up all the war dogs and stick them in this cage. As I said earlier, you can fit an infinite amount of animals in cages. And then if I want to release them, all I have to do is pull the who let the dogs out lever, and it will let the dogs out. It's probably not useful to be on a lever. What's one of the most easy and effective ways to use like caged animals is a pressure plate. When... You know, so what I could do down here somewhere is if, like, let's just imagine that and I'm not doing this, but let's just imagine I put walls in here, and then a door here. I could put a pressure plate right in front of the door with a dog crate right behind it. so that if enemies do breach and get beyond the trade depot, they step on the pressure plate and all the dogs get released, and then I have like 10 or whatever dogs trying to shred whatever enemy breached the perimeter. Just a way to set up defenses. But as you can see here, we've got dogs now getting rounded up into the cage. And that's just the cage that I bought the hen. So here's my stray hen laying eggs for my cooks. Before I forget. Oh, so the breastplates are in now. And it went up about a few hundred. Not bad, given that it was armor that I had laying around. And then it will go up even higher once we engrave it. Here we go. Oh, the other thing is I won't be able to engrave underneath the altar or the pedestal, because I forgot to high priority that first. So I'll have to circle back around and fix that if I care. I'm not sure I do, but if I do. So now that that engraving is set up, let's go back to the bedrooms. So the clothing that you see on the ground is owned clothing, and that's why it's not being stored in general storage or anything like that. But they have nowhere to put it, because these dwarves don't have any personal storage items, so adding the cabinets will allow them to store their clothing. And then I don't think that much will go in the chest. The only things that are going to go in the chest for now is if my military dwarves dump their backpacks full of meals. The meals will at least go in the coffers here instead of on the floor. Oh look, Zambiotic is wandering around obliviously again. So let's take a look at like their individual needs. Acquire object, be with family, be with friends, martial training, pray to Ostar. I have a temple to Ostar, you idiot. And then excitement. Martial training is something I could meet for Doran here. So that's a possibility. And then let's check the other one who's throwing a hissy fit. Help someone think abstractly, be with friends, pray to Ostar, pray to Alad, pray to Osmal. Okay. So a lot of those prayer I'll be able to meet. Think abstractly might be something good for me to do, working to get a library in, because that would fix some of the issues that we have. Maybe. I shouldn't say definitively. It might not fix much. Oh, I missed an engrave in the temple. But I don't see it. Let me just drag. Well, okay. The doorway. I don't think I missed anything. It would only make, like, very little difference in terms of the total value of the room. Oh, and the double up of beds, right. So back to the bedrooms. So the two beds are just so that if there's like a couple and they're both trying to sleep at the same time, it's not an issue because every single bedroom will be twins. Now that all the beds have been placed, I'm going to change my make bed queue looks beds less than, let's say, 10. I don't need that many beds. There. With the legendary dining room and bustling tavern, moods should start to move up, I think. I hope. So after I finish the coffers and cabinets in the bedrooms, what I'm going to work on next will be up to you. So if you wanted for me to do a library, that would be like production or community, one or the other. Because I know I just mentioned that, so. It's a bit production because I need to make the paper, and it's a bit community because having a library is a communal thing. But if you want military and defenses, I'm all for that too. I don't have a crossbow. Regiment, and I could totally do that. And seeing that that is currently leading, it looks like I do have a pretty good amount of steel. Cool. And in fact, I'm going to get a boyer. Oh, no, I want to pick the material. I'm going to get a boyer down here so that if you do vote military, I can start making crossbows. This is probably not where my eventual weapons district is going to go, by the by. Some of the people here are, like, super happy with how things are going, but not everybody. Let's do another raffle. I know it's really busy with all of the windows all up at once, but another raffle for another one of our legendary dwarves. So good luck in the raffle, guys. So knowing that it looks like I'm going to be ramping up military in a minute, I'm going to do a repeated queue of lignite and bitu coal so that I have more smelting materials coming up. I probably have enough coffers made now. I don't know, maybe not. Yep, I have enough. So I have one left over. So let's cancel the repeat forever queue. Mistum is... Man, I can't get these guys happy. I could also spend a minute to try to, like, hone in and focus on the ones that are the most cranky and get their needs fulfilled. But they're... it's not always easy to do. Some of the things they're asking for, like, be with family. If there's no family that they have in this colony, there's no way for me to functionally fulfill that. They're, you know, and that might be the case. All right, I believe that's the last cabinet. And you can see that this is starting to look a lot more tidy as a result. There's not like socks and dresses everywhere. Not everyone has tidied up, but most people have now. So that means that this forever cabinet can be canceled. Cool. All right. New work detail. So the next work thing I am going to do is crossbow making. Or otherwise known as a boyer. And this is going to go to Shivers, the carpenter. So Shivers make... Actually, let's make bone crossbows. That sounds metal. We'll make cowbone, llama bone, and reindeer bone. Let's make 4. And donkey bone. So get some crossbows. Because I'm pretty sure that's going to win in here in a second. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the armor stands from these storage spaces and weapon racks. So armor stands and weapon racks are a little bugged right now, and I'm going to get rid of them because they're not necessary to have. And I'm going to actually change the design of these barracks as well. Thank you for tuning in to Dwarf Fortress Taming the Wilds, which originally streamed live on Twitch, January 10th. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhodamont.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my gaming community, Rhodamont.com also has a link to Discord, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. A special thank you to my Patreon patrons, Twitch subscribers, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or upcoming stream. Farewell.